welcome back to my channel. If you hear crunching in the background, I'm sorry, it's my dog. She has a chew toy in her mouth. Excuse her. I'm gonna be planting some bok choy and some tomatoes today. Well, repotting, I should say, not planting. So first things first, if you're a creative person or an entrepreneur or a person with a free spirit and you're working a job, you know, because we're human, because we live in America, we live in the United States, we live in a capitalist society. So don't quit your day job. Now, I know a lot of the content going around today is, you know, talking about entrepreneurship, talking about ways to make money, passive forms of income, you know, all these different things. And that's all fine and well, but that shit's gonna take time. You're not going to, you know, blow up as a content creator or as an artist overnight. So that's just gonna take time. And while you're on that journey, you have bills to pay. You have to put food in your body. You have to put, you know, gas in your car to get to work. So don't quit your day job because it's gonna fund your passion project. It's funding what you actually wanna do. Now, when it comes to like the demoralizing feeling, sorry, sirens. I live in the hood, I live in the ghetto, y'all. That's another thing. Don't start buying a bunch of shit. Once you do start making money from content and whatnot, don't try to keep up with the Joneses. Like, keep your shit low key, keep it cute. But like I said, don't quit your day job. Also, learn how to professionally stick up for yourself. Now, I understand how hard it is going to a job you fucking hate, especially when you are an artist or you're a creative of any sort and you want to, you know, put more of your time into your creative endeavors. I get it. Trust me, I get it. And then you go in, especially if you work in customer service, you know what I mean? Get through that shit. However you got to get through it, get through it. Like I said, it's going to fund your passion project. Plan your escape plan. You know, start figuring out, okay, I need to work here X, Y, and Z amount of months for me to make enough money to go full time with this passion project or this entrepreneur endeavor I want to pursue. But when it comes to working these jobs, don't burn bridges with people at these jobs. I understand how hard it is to, you know, get up every day, go to this job that you hate, you know, feeling like you're worth more than minimum wage, whatever state you're in, you feel like you're worth more than $16 an hour, you feel like you're more than $13 an hour. You feel like you could be doing more with your time than currently sitting at your job. And that may be true. But in the meantime, don't burn bridges at your job. Don't quit your day job. Keep doing that shit, and whatever time, what you can handle, what capacity you can handle to commit to your passion project. It's about consistency. It's about the long haul. It's not about trying to be intense and trying to, you know, get ahead and keep up with the Jones and feel like you're behind. You're not behind. You're right on time. You're right where you're supposed to be. And a lot of the time we get so worried, especially in our age group, we get so worried about what's my purpose? What am I supposed to be doing? Am I supposed to be in college? Should I have gone to school? Should I have gone to trade school? Should I be doing something with my art? Should I be grinding more? Am I not doing enough? You ask yourself all these questions and you don't know what your purpose could be at your current job. You know what I mean? Especially if you work in customer service, you may feel like, okay, this is not a specialty job. This is not something that, you know, I'm not necessarily an essential employee here. I am very much replaceable. So you kind of just, if you're working a job where there is no incentive to working harder, you kind of get in this rat race, hamster wheel mode where you're just doing the same thing every day just to get by and you're giving life a C effort, just enough to pass. And that's all fine and well, do enough to keep your job. Don't get fired, because you don't want to burn those bridges. And I say that because, yeah, today you may be working this job, but tomorrow you never know. Your manager may be your customer. Your coworkers may be your customer in the future. So don't burn those bridges with those people, because those people will be able to vouch for your character later on. Once your lifestyle and things start changing, you will be able to see doors opening in places you would have never thought, because you didn't burn bridges with people from a job that was paying minimum wage 3 years ago that you didn't think nothing of, but the customers and the people there, they saw you. So keep that in mind. Another thing people don't really think about, your phone. We use our phone for so many things, especially social media. And one of the apps that doesn't really get a lot of recognition is the Notes app. Now, I say this because what I've learned from working at different companies, especially like companies that actually care about their reputation and care about, they have an HR department, they keep track and they keep tabs of everything, okay? They keep reports of everything, incident reports, all of that is documented. They have documentation of everything. And I think that where we are in our age group, we get so in the habit of pulling our phone out to record something, ever since the World Star Vine, Keek era, like we get so caught up in recording something. But I think that we don't realize how much weight written documentation holds. For example, if you are wanting to collaborate with another small creator, right? And you guys both come to an agreement. Say you can't afford to pay this person, they can't afford to pay you. However, you want to collaborate on something. And they're saying, okay, I'm going to send you this product. I'm going to ship this to you. All you have to do is give me a shout out, leave the post up for a week. And that is the agreement of our contract. Now, if it comes down to a discrepancy or a conflict in that agreement, make sure, especially if there isn't any documentation, like official documentation, and a lot of times when you're working with other small creators, you're working with one woman, one man show people. So you don't have a team, you don't have a legal team, you don't have an accountant yet. You can't afford to pay these people to keep track of these things that can potentially bite you in the ass later. And it doesn't just go for entrepreneurship and collaboration. I mean this with even your rental office. Like if you are a young person, and a lot of us are either roommates, we live with someone, we have a special arrangement of living, we live in the ghetto, we live somewhere where it's not pristine. Keep track of everything and every conversation, every phone call where you have reached out to someone to solve a problem and that problem hasn't been solved. Because if it comes down to a situation where you got to go to court, take someone to court, and you have no actual legal documents, but they see you have pretty much documented every conversation you've had with this person, every interaction, every agreement, that has more weight than just he said, she said, okay? So take advantage of your Notes app when you make agreements with people, when you get a new job. Like I said, don't burn these bridges, but keep track of the conversations you're having with these superiors, because a lot of the time these companies have systems in place that can fuck you in the ass, that covers their asses, but it does not cover your ass, okay? Like I said, a lot of us are in an age group where we're working jobs where we're easily replaceable. If you didn't go to college, or you didn't go to a trade school, or you don't have a special certification, a lot of the time you're working a job where you're easily replaceable. There's not really a special skill set needed for your position that isn't able to be outsourced elsewhere. So unless you are proving yourself valuable to that company and irreplaceable, make sure you keep in the back of your head, you're an at-will employee, okay? Keep documentation of everything that is said, everything that is done, because they are keeping documentation. And if you just come, to these superiors and to these corporations and say, well, they told me this, but they have documentation and they have agreements and paperwork that you've signed and you didn't read the terms and agreements, you're fucked, okay? So I would urge you young people to have documentation of everything, when it comes to your finances, when it comes to conversations you're having with people, when it comes to your leasing agreement, when it comes to working with big corporations that have legal teams, and you can't afford a lawyer, you can't afford an accountant, you can't afford someone that can speak on your behalf. You have to do as much as you can to keep track of all of these things, okay? Especially if you're an entrepreneur and you can't afford to pay someone yet. You're not at that stage of your business being able to fund that type of resource. So you have to do it. This one might ruffle some feathers, okay? Sorry, I live in the ghetto. A lot of us are estranged from family. Some of us are at the age where we are coming to be clear and aware on a lot of the ways we were raised weren't conducive to our growth or conducive to the lifestyle we want for ourselves. To say it in the nicest way and to say it in the most blunt way, some of us have fucking family trauma and we don't talk to our family. Some of us have, been through some shit that you can't even, fathom. Some of us have experienced things at ages that we shouldn't have, that we shouldn't have had to experience. And I remember a counselor I had, I think this was last year maybe. She said, what if you die without having closure? From pretty much the boss fight, trauma in your life. What if? Are you gonna depend your whole life on pretty much that last breath of hearing whatever it is that you need to hear from whomever hurt you, right? And that shit hit me like a ton of fucking bricks, okay? It hit me like a ton of bricks because it puts in reality that there is nothing on this earth that is promised but death. That is the only thing that's promised. We all gonna die. We are all going to die. Now, what you think happens after that is all up to you, and whatever your beliefs are. But at the end of the day, no matter what your belief is, we all are gonna shed this physical form at some point in time. We don't know when our curtain call is gonna be, but we are all going to meet our maker. Like, that is for certain. That is the one promise. That is something you can find comfort in existing in this world, okay? Existing in the disassociation, the nihilism, the overstimulation, the anxiety, depression of trying to survive and trying to exist in this world with everything that is going on around us. And some of us just want enough money just to be able to take care of themselves, a livable wage. Some of us just want enough money to be able to take care of our pets, our plants, our home, ourselves, And when you are confronted with the reality of all of despair in the world, you have to really simplify it for yourself or you will drive yourself insane. And it really just kind of comes down to, there is one thing you know for certain, is that you will die. You don't know when that's going to happen. And that whole cliche saying of live every day like it's your last. I mean, you don't know if you're going to go first, your parents are going to go. Nobody plans to bury their children. No one plans to bury their parents. You assume, you live in the delusion and the comfort of thinking that we're going to go chronologically. We're going to go in order, right? And then when you get married or you have a partner and you start a family and then you start thinking about, oh shit, is my partner gonna go first or am I gonna go first? Like, I don't want them to go first, because I can't be here if they go first. But at the same time, it's like, and then you just send yourself into a whirlwind of thoughts. But when she told me that, it kind of just grounded me in the reality that there's so much shit in this world that I feel that I do not have any control over. When you go on social media and you see all of the things that are happening in parts of the world that you've never been to, and you feel the despair and you feel the agony and you feel the pain, or you see something that makes you feel good, but you start comparing your life to theirs, and then you start feeling that despair, that envy, that pain. So I think for people who are estranged from their families, speaking from someone who has experienced that for years of my life, and I have finally healed and been able to build a relationship with those people in my life, by surrendering the fact that I have no control over those people. I'm on my own healing journey. I can't pass the torch on to someone else. Like, I can't pass my healing torch on to someone else, because what they're healing from and what I'm healing from are different. Okay? So you can lead by example and be the change you want to see, but at the end of the day, you cannot control anyone, especially when you're talking about people who are generations deep, decades deep into their ways, or decades deep into a certain way of thinking, So I would urge you to really surrender that shit. And honestly, I'm sorry to say it, but fuck your mom. Fuck your grandma, fuck your dad, fuck your uncle, fuck your cousin, okay? I've gone years estranged and disconnected from my family and not talking to my family and holding on to grudges, and it just cycled into a self-loathing, pain, like a painful orgy. Like, and at the time, it's like, it feels good because it's like, that's all you know is pain. That's all you're used to is pain. So you find comfort in that pain. You find comfort in the chaos of uncertainty. But there's also peace in uncertainty, The only certainty that you have is that you will die, and everyone you know and love will die, When you have pets, your pets will pass, okay? I don't like to think about it too much, because don't think about it too much. Just don't. But you really have to tap into a certain level of cognitive dissonance to get through, And right now, at this space, where we're in, going from teenagehood to young adulthood to early 20s, you're in such a, it's almost like a second puberty. It's like a second string of puberty. That's how I look at it, and that's what it feels like to me. And I also talked to my mom about this on Mother's Day. We was talking about this, where I feel like we are switching places with our parents, We're getting older. We're moving out of our parents' house, or we're moving back in. You know what I mean? No shame, no shade. It is what it is. You got to do what you got to do. Like I said, don't quit your day job. Do what you got to do. But we are in a position where our parents are kind of reverting in a way, because they're gaining a new sense of freedom. But at the same time, we are gaining a new sense of freedom, but also trying to gain some sort of control, because we're just feeling all the chaos of growing up, right? We're feeling all the changes of the world that are happening so fast. And our parents, they come from a different generation. Our grandparents come from a different generation. So they're experiencing that fastness and that speed so much more, like light years, way faster, and you see it all the time where people, their parents are retired, or they're taking care of their grandparents now, and they're at the end of the life phase, where they have to monitor their family and monitor their grandparents' finances, because with technology and everything that's coming out and everything that is going on, your parents don't know what's a scam and what's not. You know what I mean? So You got to keep an eye on them. You got to make sure they eating right and they taking care of themselves because they're getting older, and you don't want them to fucking croak. You know, every time they get up and move, they're groaning and aching and moaning. And so you are, in a way, having to parent your parents, because now you moved out. They have this new sense of freedom. You're coming into awareness of all these things that you feel like weren't conducive to your childhood or your trauma or what you thought was normal that isn't normal, and you come to realize it wasn't normal. So I think now some of us, you know, can be blessed to have parents who come around on their own terms. And that's what I mean when I say you have to surrender if your parents die stuck in their ways. Simple as that. You got to live your life. You got to live your life. If your peace, if your freedom matters most to you, you have to surrender your parents. Not sacrifice. Surrender your parents. Surrender your grandparents. And let go of waiting on an apology. Let go of waiting on them taking accountability for the hurt they caused you. Because what if it never happens? Then what? Then what? Literally, then what? Okay, so move on. Move on. It's not easy. I'm not saying it like it's easy. Trust me, it's not fucking easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it, okay? I'm just telling you what direction to move in so that you don't let this shit kill you. You don't let this shit take away your life and take away the opportunity you have to break a generational curse. So, moving on. All right. Lastly, this is kind of like unorthodox and weird. I'm unorthodox and weird, so that says nothing. But anyway, physical therapy. You guys, we are all up in arms, you know, trying to get our summer bodies, we trying to have a hot girl summer, a hot boy summer. We trying to be the city boys and all this other shit. Cool. However, let me put y'all onto a little secret, put y'all onto game, okay? Physical therapy has been a fucking life changer for me, okay? As a girl who has flat feet, okay? Flat feet, a weak pelvis, as my volleyball coach used to say. And now my physical therapy has confirmed that I do have a weak pelvis. Weak ankles, weak knees, unstable pelvis, weak core. All of that shit was causing more back problems, more feet problems, okay? I inherited my mom's back problems. I did not inherit her titties, okay? I don't know what happened when it came to, the ratio, but I didn't get her boobs. I got the back problems, did not get the boobs. So I would urge you guys to try physical therapy, okay? We are in our 20s and we have back problems, okay? We are in our 20s and we have ankle issues. We got neck pain, we got shoulder pain, and it just shouldn't be like this, okay? It just shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. What was the reason? To what end? To what end? Okay, I really gotta stop saying that. Physical therapy isn't just for athletes, hardcore athletes, weightlifters, or if you have an injury, or old people. Literally, physical therapy shows you where the weak points in your body are. And I'm not talking about going to a chiropractor. No shade to the chiropractors, okay? No shade. But a physical therapist is like a different level. Like it's just different. It feels different. You get one-on-one. It's almost like having a personal trainer, but for free if you have insurance that will cover it, okay? If you are a young adult in your late teens, early 20s, you need to know these things. You need to know. You need to know where your documents are. You need to know what your insurance covers. All of that. So I would urge you to look and see if your insurance covers physical therapy visits, because going to a physical therapist is different than going to like a chiropractor, because they actually will take time to, assess your body, tell you where your weak points are. They'll go, you'll go through a few exercises, and they'll be able to tell what muscle groups and what parts of your body need work. And then you will be set up with a program and workouts that are pretty much body weight. You're not going into the gym and going hardcore lifting heavy. You're learning how to move your body in a healthy way. You know what I mean? I'm a gardener, okay? I lift a lot of heavy shit. I need to know how to bend down at awkward angles and what muscles I need to use in order to prevent me having back problems down the road. Okay, having hip problems, knee problems, all that. So going to physical therapy has definitely helped me strengthen my core, strengthen my pelvis, which were the weak points, which were causing me back pain. Because when you bend down to get something, a lot of the time we be using all of our back muscles and none of our core. And that's when people gut health, core, all of that is hot topic stuff because it's so important, but it's so ignored amongst the general population. So I would urge the young adults, us young adults who are now coming into this new wave of just being conscious of our bodies and being conscious of our health, because we see our parents and we see the effects that our parents' choices have had on them, and hearing them and seeing our parents in pain is just painful for us. So it's we want to do everything to prevent that. So I would urge you to try some physical therapy, okay? Everybody want to go to the gym. Everybody want to go to the chiropractor. Everybody want to do all this fancy shit. Bro, it's so underrated. Physical therapy is so underrated. I'm telling you what I know. And also, you make some really cool friends. All the senior citizens in there are cool as hell. They're nice. They're sweethearts. And why would you not want to be around some good people for a change? Being a young person, I'm not one to go to the club or anything like that for real. I don't make a habit out of it because I have a very small social battery. But yeah, if you want to change and pace, and you're trying to really learn your body, but you can't afford a trainer at the gym, or you're too nervous or you're too insecure right now to go to the gym and your insurance covers it, or you can afford it, y'all, I'm telling you, look into physical therapy. And look into other doctors to really assess your health, your whole health profile, because we are a generation who is more, we're coming into more health related innovations and whatnot, because we are so adamant about our health, seeing the effects that the past has had on our parents and past generations. So yeah, that's all I wanted to say, you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any other tips that you think I missed, or something that I didn't think about, or if you learned something, and this is not just for the teens and people in your 20s. If you're in your 30s and your 40s and you're watching this, comment below something you've learned from your 20s or your young adulthood that you want to pass along to the youth, because we want to be a part of the conversation. We want to learn, and we are open, okay? We are not closed off to it, to suggestions from the different generations, because how will you learn, So yeah, you guys have a great day. I'm going to continue planting all of this stuff, and yeah, like, comment, subscribe. Share with a friend. Sounds strong. This is Ginger. My baby. All right.